You were a judge on season 1 of America's Next Top Model.
Yes.
I don't really think that you need all that eye contact, side to side to side to side.
Because of pageantry. You look at the audience and you try to bring the audience to you.
This is not pageantry. High fashion is not a pageant.
It's just being evaluated through a much different lens.
So that probably was a hot mess.
It's being
Compared to
it's being picked apart
today.
for
Yeah.
you know, some people call it problematic and
Yeah.
the way that we spoke to women back in the day.
I am angry inside. I've been through stuff, so I'm angry.
Yes, but it's not, this is not, be quiet,
But
Tiffany.
everybody
Be
knows.
quiet!
I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this.
There's a twist. We are actually going to switch your ethnicities. Brittany, an African-American woman. Kenya, Korean.
Do you really think you can have a CoverGirl contract with the gap in your mouth?
Yeah, why not?
This is all people see. It's easier, he's beautiful CoverGirl.
I feel like when I started with the show, and it was the first show, and I was very good friends with Tyra. She was in my wedding, she's my kid's godmother. It was a little bit different maybe than how it ended up so many seasons later. And I do believe it had like a tremendously successful run. It did, and she did. And I think probably as time goes on, it takes on a life of its own, so to speak. But it didn't start out that way. It started off really as something that was aspirational and that women wanted to do. And I mean, young women and young girls were breaking their necks to be a part of this or to be picked or come to these cattle calls. Now when I hear things that are said about it, I'm like, okay, I can see how you would say that. Like most of the things that were said, I think, and again, I don't know if we're on the same algorithm, but I'm like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that happened. Someone did that, yeah.
And
maybe not in season 1 because you're just getting started.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of fact. And again, I didn't hear everything and see everything, so then don't clip it next to something that I didn't see and then say, yeah, that's factual. But there's a lot of fact in that. And just in what's being said. And I think in the business these days, because I'm in the same business from a different perspective, but the same business, yeah, I think we owe it to ourselves and to these young women and to, you know, as a community, we owe a bit more responsibility, a bit more, you know. But a lot of those problems have been and are still now prevalent. I mean, it far exceeds America's Next Top Model, right? It goes into every agency, every young girl, which is why I maybe don't want my kids to model.
You think we still have a ways to go?
Oh, 1,000%.
What do you want to see change the most?
It's a very harsh business. It's very, very harsh. No one really says the reality. Put it this way, anything likely, 9 times out of 10, that you see or hear of someone that they said something happened to them modeling on set, at a shoot, at these weird locations, showing up at all these places for a casting or a go-see, not knowing the address, not knowing the people, not knowing anything. Even things that have happened to my own kids, going to places in upstate New York, and then the gig was canceled because of like a storm, and then no one looked out for these girls. That's more of an agent thing, but no one looked out for these 30 girls, young girls, away from home, upstate New York, no food, no money, no place to stay. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I've lived it myself when I was younger. Most of the things you hear are probably true in some shape, form, or fashion. They are not fantastical things. These young people are not lying. Those things are mostly true. And again, I didn't hear them all, but every time I hear something, it's true.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
the business.
And how do you think you made it here today, standing so proudly?
By the grace of God, how did I make it here today? I had a level head on my shoulder. I was always very mature beyond my years, which is important to know, because a lot of women get into these situations, and I loved what I did, and for me it was like a way to get out of landlocked St. Louis, and I was much more advanced than my peers, and it just helped me see the world and become an international woman of the world, and you know, try to speak different languages and learn about different cultures. So it was great for me, like a ticket for me to elevate and do something with my life.